Hello YouTube, and welcome to David Hassel's Retro Game Reviews. This week I thought I'd try something a little bit different. I was thinking about a handheld game and thinking about the history of it, and I was thinking I might actually try a little retrospective on handheld gaming. Now this is just my opinions, it isn't entirely factual. I mean, I'm going to try to make sure that what I'm saying is correct, but this is ultimately my opinion. Okay, let's start. Well, what can you say? Game Boy. The Game Boy started it all. I mean, yeah, there was the Game & Watch series, but to me, handheld games started when Nintendo jumped in with this. I mean, there's been many Game Boys. I mean, you had the Game Boy Slim, the Colour, and you had the Advance, and then the Advance SP, Micro, DS, the DS Lite, and the DSi. But this is what started it, and to me, I'll always think of this. And the reason this won is because it was a brilliant handheld, and it wasn't technology dependent. End of the day, Nintendo got it right. Basically, handheld games are about playing games. You don't want to play something and then, an hour later, boom, that's it. With this, you bung your batteries in, you're good for 8 hours. And that, to me, is what handheld games are about. You haven't got a power supply, which means you need to be able to play for quite a few hours. And all the people who try to jump in never realised this. I mean, the Game Boy is... I couldn't even tell you how many they've sold. I mean, I know that the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color combined sales of 118 million. And the Game Boy Advance, every version has sold about 81 million. And at the moment, the DS is doing about 113 million. That is incredible. And you look at some of these other companies, and none of them come even close at all. And the best-selling game of all, well, not the best-selling, but to me, it's what helped the system to get everyone. I mean, it was a must-have game. Tetris Classic. I love playing this game. Right. At this moment in time, in gaming history, handheld-wise, the biggest rival and the longest person to fight Nintendo and stay the course was Sega and the Game Gear. I mean, this thing was out for 7 years. Yeah, I mean, the PSP is going to beat it, but at the moment, this is the longest handheld to go toe-to-toe with Sega. It's a nice handheld, I mean, there wasn't a load of games. I mean, it was about maybe 300 games its entire lifespan, and it ate through batteries. Yeah. You put about, 6 AA batteries and you're done in about 3 hours, if you're lucky. But, I don't know, it's got a nice place in gaming history, I mean, it is a bit bulky. I don't know, I mean, if you compare it to the Game Boy. Well, this is the Game Boy. Yeah, there is quite a difference. Yeah. See, with this, it's comfortable, Well, I mean, they're both comfortable. But this is much more practical, especially the slim version, and you can actually fit it in your pocket. I think this, as a sofa, I think in its lifespan it saw about 11 million, which I suppose was alright, but... And then they tried doing the Nomad, which was a portable sort of Mega Drive, and didn't really work. Well, the problem was the batteries were terrible. You put your batteries in and you were done, very quickly. But it's a highly collected item. I mean, I'd love to get one. I mean, they look really good. It's a portable Mega Drive, Right. The next one. To me, this is the only company who's trying to take on Nintendo and stayed, no matter what. No matter what's happened, Sony hasn't abandoned it. And so far, they've sold about it's nearly 56 million. It's actually quite a decent handheld. I mean, I mean, this one I can probably get about maybe 3.5 hours battery life, which is quite reasonable. As long as you don't want to have a super long game session. And there are a lot of games for it. I mean, they are releasing a lot of gems. I mean, the newest one is Final Fantasy Dissidia, which is a brilliant game. And I've also heard a rumour they're going to port it to the console, which is going to be cool. But to me, and it's cool, you know, it's a good, decent game machine, and it's got a lot of good media type things you could do with it. To me, there are a lot of handhelds out there, but the three I've just shown you, I believe, are the three most important ones in the history of handheld gaming. And the Game Boy is what started it. The biggest rival to the Game Boy and Nintendo, and the company that went toe-to-toe for the longest was Sega, and the best example was the Game Gear. And the current rival at the moment is Sony's PSP. I mean, and that's my opinion personally. I mean, there's been loads of failed ones. I mean, you could spend all day talking about them. I mean, you had the Atari Lynx, same thing again, 8 through batteries like there was no tomorrow. And you had the NEC Turbo Express, which is a clever idea though, to actually be able to use your sort of TurboGrafx cards in a handheld, but same thing again, batteries. And you had the Neo Geo and the Neo Geo Pocket Power. I mean, both were really nice, but the only problem is they couldn't get any third-party support. N-Gage, what was it? It wasn't really a great phone, it wasn't really a great handheld, it wasn't really anything. And everyone joked about it because you had to put the thing sideways to your ear like this. It was stupid. I mean, I've heard that within the next couple of years they're going to completely cease support for it. And the biggest one was Gizmondo. It's amazing to think that only 3 companies have had any real success, you know. And in the future, I think Nintendo will continue to be on top. What's amazing is, if you think about console gaming, no one has ever been on top for more than, 2 generations? I mean, Sony were really on top for 2 generations, with the PS1 and the PS2. Nintendo, on and off. I mean, they were, when the original Nintendo came out, not only did they kickstart the industry in America, they were on top of the generation. And then the next one was quite strange, because at one point, Sega actually had an edge. And then Sega spazzed out and released the Mega CD, 32X, and Nintendo just kept doing what they were doing, and by the end of it, they won that generation, came second in the next one, last in the one after, and now they're first. But handheld gaming's different though. No matter what's happened, Nintendo have been first, no matter what, which is quite interesting. And I think they will remain being first. I think Sony will keep doing what they're doing. But cool things I like are the fact that people are bringing out open source handhelds like this. It's really cool though. I mean, it's open source. They're developing new content all the time for it. You know, and you can play just about anything. I don't think these will ever replace the main handhelds. But I think there's a little market for them. So that's my retrospective on handheld gaming. I hope you liked it. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, peace out.